Good evening, race fans. Welcome to Lakeland, Florida at the USA International Raceway, which is shaping up to be a great night of racing here at the 3/4 mile dirt track that is here in Florida. We are welcoming you out here to USA Speedway. My name is the boss man, Al Smith, and I'll be bringing you all the action here tonight for the Ultimate Sim League, brought to you by Ultimate Race Cars. You need the ultimate edge, you need ultimate race cars. Check them out at ultimateracecars.com. You need the best looking cars out there on the racetrack? Look up Ski Graphics. Ski Graphics on Facebook and Instagram at Ski Graphics. Check them out and make yourself look good. And JR Photography. Best pictures out there. We take all the pictures for the Ultimate Sim League. So we would like to welcome them here tonight to Lakeland, Florida. The track is looking very good, widened out right now, grooves from top to bottom. We will see if some interesting stuff will happen here tonight. Let's take a look at the race information coming into tonight. It is Stern Motorsports night, and we got to thank the drivers over at Stern Motorsports for sponsoring tonight. You can catch them in action during the summer months. They're at Slinger Speedway. They aren't in the asphalt late model division, so we got to thank them for sponsoring tonight's race at the USA International Speedway. Taking a look at last week's top three from JR Photography night at the Cedar Lake Speedway. It was Bud Riedner picking up the first win of the season. Tyler Jackson will come home in your number 2 spot, and Reed Rundell rounded out your top 3 drivers last week at the Cedar Lake Speedway. Total different ball game as they come into the USA International Speedway. This track is fast, long straightaways, sweeping corners. Going to provide a lot of high-speed action here tonight for your Ultimate Sim League. Once again, let's take a look at the point standings coming in tonight. We had a little bit of a shake-up last week in the point standings, and taking over the top spot after last week's race, it is Reed Rundell. 3-point lead over Tyler Jackson. Jackson coming up just short, but with the bonus points involved, it was Reed Rundell jumping out to your points lead. Brian Gundrum runs in your 3rd spot with Brandon Hull. Brian Hacker rounds out your top 5. Chris Johnson, Chuck Scher, Jeff Steenbergen is in there as well. Inside the top 10, Bud Riedner jumps to the 9th spot with Dean Burnt rounding out your top 10. That's where everybody stands coming into Stern Motorsports night, and it's going to be an exciting night of racing. We got to really thank everybody out there. Right now I can tell you that Brandon Hull, the car number 99, driver out of Mayville, Wisconsin, he is your current fast time here in practice. So we will take and see what will transpire here in a little while. But as they get ready to do that, we are going to they're going through their driver's meeting momentarily. So we'll go quiet. We're going to head over and we'll head to our national anthem here tonight at the here. So we'll be right back after that, and a quick word from our sponsors.
the most realistic online racing sim ever made. This is iRacing. Detailed laser scan tracks, fully dynamic real world cars, and over 50 series to choose from. 6 online world championships offering over $400,000 in annual prizes. This is the original esport racing game. This is iRacing.
And welcome back here to the USA International Speedway. We are going to have some heat race action coming up to you where 8 laps will be the distance here tonight in there. So let's take a look here and we'll see what our best times are as practice is winding down. Just about 6 minutes left in practice. Brandon Hull, like I said, is your fast time driver right now, and see if we can catch a word with possibly our top driver right now. So we'll take a look down here and see. Brandon Hull, this is Al Smith in the turn 3 booth. Do you have a copy?
I believe I do.
How are you doing tonight, sir?
Not too bad. How about yourself?
Not too bad. Right now you're leading practice. How is the track conditions and what can our viewers expect out of the racing here tonight at the USA Speedway?
Well, as usual after practice, getting towards the end here, track's really starting to slick off and corner entry is going to become real big. I think if we can all work together and get into the corner real good, you'll see a lot of good racing off the corner and down the straightaways.
We got some heat races coming up here, and that's all done by the random pill draw. How do you think your crew's gonna pull for you here when we get ready to go heat race action in about 5 minutes?
Well, the last couple weeks I've been pretty lucky. I've been starting up front in the heat races, and I'm just can only hope that I'll be able to start up towards the front again.
Well, before we let you go, who do you got to thank here, and good luck here tonight?
First off, Skis Graphics for always keeping the car looking good out there, and Miller's Bar and Grill.
There you have it. That's the driver of the 99. That is Brandon Hull. He is the fastest man in practice right now, and you heard him. The track widened out very much, so we'll see if the track crew will go out and work on it before any of the heat race action, maybe to lay down some moisture back out there. But Brandon Hull, your fastest man in practice so far. No other surprise up there. Tyler Jackson comes into the points, 3 points behind Reed Rundell, and those two round out your top 3 here in practice. Brian Hacker, 5th quickest, and the times are all very, very close together. Just about 4 minutes left of practice here as we take a look at the number 43 of Reed Rundell. He working down here in the turn number 3 as they working around the speedway. 16 drivers signing in here tonight. We will have, I believe, 2 heat races. The heat race lengths will be 8 laps in distance, and they will take them in. But for the feature event, your top 9 positions will be inverted here tonight. Last week it was the top 14. This week it'll be the top 9. So the sliding scale, they're keeping the drivers on their toes. So we will see who will get the pole for our feature event. But they come in, they do a virtue pill draw, and iRacing will line up the heat races based on that. Last week's winner of the 40 of Bud Riedner. He's out of Waunakee, Wisconsin. Car number 40 with the Ski Graphic Ultimate Race Car sponsored number 40. Working the high side of the speedway right now. The track very wide as we go up high above the track as we watch them with the JR Photography blimp cam. Some excellent shots from our blimp cam here, just like the JR Photography puts out. So about 2 minutes left to go here in practice. We're going to step away. We'll be right back with some heat race action. Stay tuned. You're watching the Ultimate Sim League here on the Turn 3 Racing Network.
With the Butt Kicker Gamer 2, what you see and what you hear is what you feel. Butt Kicker. The future is feeling.
Welcome back. Just about a minute left here before we come back to Rain Flag Racing. The Ultimate Sim League is brought to you by Ultimate Race Cars. Check them out at ultimateracecars.com. Ski Graphics. You are in the need for some graphic design, some graphic work, or a great looking race car. Check them out on Facebook and Instagram at Ski Graphics. And JR Photography, the photography supplier of the Ultimate Sim League. And tonight's race is being brought to us by being brought to us by Stern Motorsports. Stern Motorsports, an asphalt late model team that calls Slinger Speedway home during the summer months. And just like that, practice has come to a wrap. And let's take a look at the starting grid for heat race number 1. Starting on the pole will be last week's feature event winner. That will be the number 40. That is Bud Riedner. Riedner in car number 40, starting on the inside of row number 1. Starting on the outside will be the number 77. That is Mike Winters out of Sun Prairie, Wisconsin. He will call the 77, the Bang Energy, number 77, on the outside of the front row. Starting on the back of heat race number 1, it'll be Roman Blank in car number 83. Outside of him, the 99 of Brandon Hull, the fastest man in practice. And then starting 5th will be car number 57 out of Ingleside, Illinois. That is Chuck Scher. Chuck Scher in car number 57 will start 5th and 6th in shotgun final spot in heat race number 1. The number 112, that is Chris Johnson. Chris Johnson in car number 112 will start on shotgun on the field, and that is how your 6-car field for heat race number 1 will look. As they pace around here, I believe they will get one more lap. So we got to welcome everybody that's tuning on in to the Ultimate Sim Racing. Here is the pace truck. We'll stay on out. We got one more lap to go. 8 laps is the distance here on Stern Motorsports heat race number 1. Everybody will make the show. Top 9 cars will be inverted here, so I believe whoever finishes 3rd in this heat race will get our pole position. But we will wait and let the scoring officials sort all that information out. We do got some onboard cameras. We got the driver cam as we look at the number 77 on board with the UltimateRaceCars.com onboard camera. We got the roof cam by Ski Graphics as the field paces through turns 3 and 4. We're going to be able to go green flag this time. The pace truck, Chevy Silverado, will pull into the pits. We are ready to go. Green flag racing. Heat race number 1 is underway. Winters and Reedon are going to drag race down to the turn number 1. See the lines there. Hole up the racetrack a little bit tight. Here comes Winters on the outside. New race leader. They jostle for the grip. Here comes the 83 of Blank on the inside down here in the turn number 3. First trip, 2 turns, number 3. It'll see the 77 of Winters putting the nose out front. Blank down low. He'll slide up in front of the 99 of Hull, but Winters will lead lap number 1. Good 3-wide battle back here is Chris Johnson in the 112 working the high side of the speedway. He'll kiss the concrete barrier in at number 112 as they come off of turn number 2 and down the backstretch. Still 3 wide, some more contact. Blank into the outside wall. They keep it pointed in the right direction. We stay clean and green. Chris Johnson started 6th on the field. Quickly moving into your top 3 is Brandon Hull will go to the bottom, digging low on the inside of the speedway. Track is very wide. Johnson up the racetrack. Change for your race lead is Bud Reedner trying to do the slide job. Down the backstretch they go. Reedner will jump out in front with car number 40 looking to pick up where he left off when we left the Cedar Lake Speedway 1 week ago. Reedner working the high side of the speedway, gets the car pointed in the right direction, and he opens up a little bit of a gap. Down here in the turn number 1, they go all the way up to the outside wall. That time Winters with a good drive off the corner, but Reedner's going to be able to stay in front. Bud Reedner trying to win heat race number 1 of 3 here tonight. Chris Johnson is up to 3rd, and he's looking to put some pressure on Winters. Brandon Hull runs there in your 4th spot. 5th spot belongs to the 57 of Chuck Scher. And Roman Blank, you saw him up there. He kisses the outside wall here again in his Fox Shocks Monster Energy number 83. Bud Reedner starting to stretch out his advantage over the 77 of Winters. Looks like the top side is the place to be right now in heat race number 1. As I say that, look at this driver digging on the bottom like a catfish. Brandon Hull in car number 99. With a Miller's Bar and Grill, sponsor 99 Skis Graphics. Working on the inside of the 112, down the backstretch they will go. Great battle right there. We are watching it from the JR Photography speed shot. 2 laps to go. Popsicle sticks are up. This is a great battle. Brandon Hull not done yet. Trying to take away 2nd. Hull has found the bottom and he is stuck like Velcro. Down to the inside of Winters in the turn number 3 they go. It'll be Reedner seeing the white silk fly. Brandon Hull up to your number 2 spot. Chris Johnson sees the bottom working. He tries to cut it down low. It's a good door-to-door battle on the final lap for your 2nd spot. Winters on the outside. Hull really working the bottom with a great throttle control. Up off of turn number 2, they will come down the backstretch. 77 of Winters with the drag race. They'll come into turn number 3. But off of turn number 4, picking up the heat race win. It'll be the number 40 of Bud Reedner. Reedner will pick up heat race number 1. Brandon Hull will finish 2nd. 3rd will go to Winters. Johnson, Scher, and Blank will round out your running order here in heat race number 1. So those are your top 3 cars. Will go into the invert. Is now heat race number 2 starts to get them lined up. But let's take a look here at how heat race number 1 finished. And that was Bud Reedner, Brandon Hull, Mike Winters, Chris Johnson, and Chuck Scher rounding out your top 5. Roman Blank, he will get that car repaired. We saw him kiss the concrete a few times in heat race number 1. They'll get it banged out and ready to go here in heat race number 2. Heat race number 2 coming out onto the racetrack, and this is what the starting lineup will look like. Starting on the inside of row number 1, the driver of the 302, that is Kurt Levin. Kurt Levin in car number 302. He is your pole sitter. Outside of him, it'll be the number 118, or the 8 of Tyler Jackson. Tyler Jackson, the driver out of Illinois, he will start second. He comes in tonight second points in points. Brian Gundrum in car number 118 will start in the third spot. James Fletcher in car number 75 will start to the outside of row number 2. Fletcher, car number 75. And shotgun on the field will be the number 15, the black and pink yellow color here, the ski graphic entry. That is the number 15 of David Kinjerski. Kinjerski, shotgun on the field, and that is how our heat race number 2 lineup will look as we get ready to go. So an entertaining heat race number 1, the bottom really starting to work in. We'll see what can happen with that. Sharp looking race car is the 118 of Brian Gundrum out of Slinger, Wisconsin. They roll down the back stretch here past our cameraman. The Andy's frozen custard on the side of the 118. But the field is in the hands of the 302. That is Kurt Levin. Outside of him, the number 8. That is Tyler Jackson. Pace truck is down and away in the field looking for the green flag from Barney the Flagman. Green flag is up and we are underway with heat race number 2. Tyler Jackson jumping out the early race lead. A big push out of the 302.11. The 75 of Fletcher going to try to cut it down low. He spins the tires in to slick up off the corner. The 118 of Gundrum having a little bit of electrical issues right there in front of the 15 of Kinjerski. Tyler Jackson down to the bottom, scraping the paint on the inside wall. Lap number 1 going to go into the books for the number 8 of Tyler Jackson, who's opened up a 0.7 of a second lead. But he's leaving the party 3 wide in the turn number 1. Gundrum uphill, bang the right rear off the concrete, get the drive down the backstretch. Kinjerski working the bottom. He started 5th on the field all the way up to your number 3 spot in 1 lap's time. Fletcher in the 75 working down low underneath the 302 of Levin. Tyler Jackson, he'll kiss the outside wall. They're flirting with it. Not much room between themselves and the outside retaining wall where the top of the cushion is right now. That allows Gundrum to start reeling them in with the Andy's frozen custard, letting the right rear eat in the cushion. But how about Kinjerski? Kinjerski on the front stretch will come off the turn number 4. He's looking to close in on this battle for your top 2. Different lines down here in the turn number 1. You see him slide in right at you. One car a little bit sideways. That was the number 302 of Levin. Levin started on the pole. Car not to his liking so far here in heat race number 2 on Stern Motorsports night. Kinjerski works the bottom. He's going to try to draw up even, but the momentum on the outside by the 118 of Gundrum. Those two will do battle as they run wheel to wheel up off the corner. You can see how slick the track is getting. A lot of moisture down low if you can plant the power down there. Kinjerski will slide up a little bit. Diamonds the corner off, gets down low, gets the tires into that darker brown dirt. That's where the moisture's still left into the speedway. And he has pulled up even. They come through turns 1 and 2, and they are closing in on your race leader as they work down the backstretch. Let's go on board and watch the driver cam of the driver of the 118, Brian Gundrum, working here down the front stretch. You see him really working the steering wheel. Kinjerski works the bottom of that raceway. This time off a corner number 4. The white flag will fly the final trip in Heat race number 1, Tyler Jackson working the bottom of the speedway still, but a great battle for your number 2 position. Jackson works down low. Now Konjerski has put the nose out in front of the 118 of Gundrum. Gundrum with the momentum on the outside. He will squirt back out in front for the 15 of Konjerski. Final trip through turns 3 and 4. Tyler Jackson's got to keep it pointed in the right direction. He will pick up the heat race win in heat race number 2 on Stern Motorsports night. Tyler Jackson will win. Gundrum will finish second, and Konjerski will finish in your 3rd spot, the final driver into the redraw. And that is how your heat race number 2 will finish. Let's see where your favorite driver finished here in heat race number 2. Tyler Jackson picking up the win over Brian Gundrum. David Konjerski, as I said, top 3. They go back into the redraw. Kurt Levin in the 302 will finish 4th, and James Fletcher in car number 75 rounds out your top 5 there in heat race number 2. Heat race number 3 starting to make its way around the speedway, and it is going to be a great heat race. The 3rd and final heat race of the evening here as they work through turns 1 and 2. On the pole, it is the number 43 of Reed Rundell. Reed Rundell coming into your points as your points championship leader after 2 events. This is night number 3. Gary Pizon in car number 33 of the Stern Motorsports entry. He'll start on the outside of the front row. Inside of row number 2 will be the number 17. That is Dean Burnt in car number 17. Outside of him, the asphalt champion, the number 11 of Brian Hacker. Brian Hacker in car number 11. And shotgun on the field, the ultimate race car. Sponsored number 62, that is Jeff Steenbergen. Steenbergen, 5th and final car here in heat race number 2 of the field, getting the white flag. We will be back to green flag racing next time by. Here's we go on board with Jeff Steenbergen. As we look back here, 5 cars ready to do battle. 8 laps is the distance. We will lock in the final 3 cars into the redraw. You gotta have a favorite here in heat race number 3. Let's hopefully they do well for you. Cheer them on. If you're out there watching, hit the thumbs up. Let these drivers know that you are appreciative of what you are doing for them. There's the pace truck. We'll make the hard left-hand turn onto the pace into the infield. We are ready to go in heat race number 3, and it is underway. And Rundell going to jump on the loud pedal first. He jumps out to your early race lead over to 33 of Pizon. Pizon hard in the wall and in front of Hacker. Hacker jumps on the rake pedal, and around will go to 33. Dean Burnt will move into your number 2 spot as Pizon is taking the quick tow back to pit road. See if he gets back out onto the racetrack. Off of turn number 1 for the first time. It'll be the 33 of Rundell leading lap number 1. Burnt will run second. 3rd spot is the 11 of Brian Hacker. He goes to the low side. The catfish, Brian Hacker down low. Burnt with the momentum on the outside. He'll try to draw even, but Hacker will take over your number 2 spot. 3rd spot is Dean Burnt, and 4th is the number 62 of Steenbergen with a beautiful prepared looking number 62. A little bit of front end damage after contact there when Pizon went around. Hacker had to check up, and Steenbergen just nowhere to go. The crew will get that banged out, but things starting to tighten up here at the front of the field. Brian Hacker down low, pedaling low on the inside of the speedway. Rundell stretching his legs on the high side. Down in the turn number 3 they will go. Hacker down low. Can he make a move? New race leader right now, but the momentum on the outside. Rundell, he's going to win the drag race down the front stretch. Brian Hacker trying to work the bottom of the speedway. Rundell up on the outside with the momentum down here off of turn number 2. And then it will be Brian Hacker as your new race leader. Hacker works the bottom of the speedway with his Carbon Junction Narrative Coffee number 11. 4 laps are in, 4 laps to go. The cross flags from Barney the Flagman now as Rundell runs in your number 2 spot. with the Buddies Speed Shop number 43. They work down the backstretch. Steenbergen starting to close in on the backside of the 17 of Burnt. He knows he needs to get inside the top 3 to make it into the invert. Top 3 out of each heat race will be inverted into the night's feature event. So that is the battle here in the turn number 1. Brian Hacker opening up an 0.8 of a second lead off of turn number 2 and down the backstretch over to 43 of Rundell. Field starting to stretch themselves out here. They roar down the front stretch. You see the different lines here in heat race number 3. 2 laps to go. Popsicle sticks are up in the air for that man, the 11 of Brian Hacker. Let's go on board for the Ultimate Sim League onboard camera. You can hear the throttle work from the driver out of Huntley, Illinois. Working the bottom of the speedway here. Rundell has gone down to the inside as well, trying to match the tire tracks of the 11. On the final lap, off of turn number 4, they will come. It'll be the 11 of Brian Hacker picking up the heat race win. Reed Rundell will come home in your number 2 spot. 3rd spot will go to Burnt. Steenbergen will come home 4th. And Gary Pizon will round out your top 5 here in the heat race. And that means we will move into our feature event just like that. Let's start with our starting lineup here for tonight's feature event. And on the pole will be the number 17. That is Dean Burnt. He finished 3rd in heat race number 3. So he will get the 9-car invert and he'll get the pole. Outside of him, the number 15. That is David Kinjerski. Starting on the inside of row number 2 will be the number 77. That is Mike Winters out of Sun Prairie, Wisconsin. Outside of him, the number 43 out of Oxford, Michigan. That is Reed Rundell. Starting on the inside of row number 3, the 118 of Brian Gundrum in car number 118. And outside of him, the fastest man in warm-ups here tonight, the number 99. That is Brandon Hull. Brandon Hull in car number 99. Brian Hacker out of Huntley, Illinois will start on the inside of row number 4. Outside of him, Tyler Jackson in car number 8. Bud Riedner in car number 40 will start on the 9th position. Outside of him, it will be the 112 of Chris Johnson. 11th starting spot will go to the 302 of Kurt Levin. Kurt Levin in car number 302. Outside of him, the driver of the number 62 Ultimate Race Cars entry. That's the number 12 of Jeff Steenbergen. Rounding out your starting field will be the 57 of Chuck Scher. Outside of him, the 75 of James Fletcher. Gary Pizon in car number 33 and the 83 of Roman Plank will make up your 16-car starting field. As the field paces here through turns 3 and 4, they are going to get the white flag. This is how it's going to be coming to your race flag. Just a quick reminder, let's take a look at the point standings coming into tonight's feature event. Reed Rundell in car number 43 is your points man. 3-point lead over the number 8 of Tyler Jackson. Brian Gundrum is 3rd. Brandon Hull, Brian Hacker, your top 5 in points. Great points battle just after 2 weeks of racing. Who is going to be the points leader when we leave here tonight? Well, we are going to have to find out here on Stern Motorsports night. We got to thank Stern Motorsports for sponsor tonight, the Asphalt Late Model team, who call Slinger Speedway home, based out of Slinger, Wisconsin. So thank them for their sponsorship of tonight's main event. Here we get ready to go with the Stern Motorsports feature event. Burnt and Kinjerski up on the front of this one. Ladies and gentlemen, sit down, strap in, and pick yourself a winner. The Ultimate Racing Sim Series is about to go green at the USA Speedway. Green flag comes out and Burnt jumped onto the inside of the speedway. We've got him 3 wide behind her, but here comes Konjerski working the outside of the speedway, but Burnt on the inside. He'll lead him down the backstretch. Good side-by-side battle for your third spot. Reed Rundell on the outside. He's got the 77 of Winters. He'll work the bottom of the speedway. Here comes Brian Hacker. Hacker works to the inside of the 8 of Tyler Jackson. That's the battle. They were 3 wide behind him with Chris Johnson. Action all up around the speedway. The 862 of Steenberg. 1 car around. That was the 118 of Gundrum. Heavy contact with the 118 of Gundrum. The 302 of Levin also involved down here in turn number 2. And our first yellow of the night coming out here. Heavy contact to the 118. The truck says they have it, so let's take a look and see what has happened to the Andes Frozen Custard number 118. Running side by side with Reed Rundell down here in the turn number 1. All slides up and just kisses the inside of the 77 of Winters. The 302 of Levin nowhere to go. Pizon also involved. Let's take another look here. Let's go on board. This hard contact. Last week's feature event winner, the 40 of Rundell, also involved. Let's take and go on board here with the in-car view. See how fast things happen. See Brian Hacker check up and just gets around here with the 302.11, nowhere to go. He makes hard contact there with the front end of his car. As we come back live here, the 118 sits on pit road, getting the damage fixed to that car. They don't lose any laps here. Yellow flag laps are not counting here, but a hard heartbreak for the driver. That also involved in that race crash was Bud Riedner. We saw him involved. Roman Blank, Gary Pizon also involved. So 4 cars involved there in that first yellow flag as the lights go out around the speedway. Field doubling up to be a double file restart. 2 laps are in, 38 remain in this 40-lap feature event, brought to you by Stern Motorsports. Been great battles all the way through the field here. Field will roll through turns 3 and 4. Let's go high up over the JR Photography blimp camera for this restart. Pace truck going to make the hard left-hand turn to the safe haven of pit road. Green flag is back out, and we are back underway. We'll watch them fan out down here in turn number 1. Look at Tyler Jackson. Great start here on the outside. He'll put it in the middle. 3 wide for your third spot. Make it 4 wide. Brian Hacker goes down low. They'll even it back out to even rows of 2 down the back stretch. Still side by side like they were under pace slaps here. And now 3 wide once again for your third spot. Brian Hacker works to the inside. Contact between himself and Mike Winters. Winters stuck in the middle of the speedway. He'll finally slide up to the outside. Tyler Jackson going to go down low on Brian Hacker. Down in the grass, no room to go for the 8 of Jackson as they work down the front stretch. More contact back here at 75 of Fletcher, but all eyes are up on the front of this one. Field working through the corner, 3 wide once again. Tyler Jackson scraping the paint off the bottom of the wall. Hacker and Konjerski make some contact off the front stretch. Middle of the track starting to get it there. Now Tyler Jackson will stick the nose down low with the Shark racing number 8. Cast the back out of it. Hacker now takes a run onto the 15 of Konjerski. That's the battle for second. All this happening behind the 17 of Burnt. Burnt, car number 17, the driver out of Slinger, Wisconsin, leading the way. But Brian Hacker making the bottom side work. He'll go down low. We've got, here comes Konjerski. through the middle, 3 wide, contact between Burnt and Konjerski. Now Rundell's going to come through, contact with your points leader. Reed Rundell comes in as your points leader. He's working the number 8 of Tyler Jackson, a little bit of bumper tag to Winters in the entry of turn number 3. Everybody keeps it clean and pointed in the right direction. Last time by, let's look at the lap times. 27.89 for your race leader. Fastest car at that time by was the number 8 of Tyler Jackson as he works down the backstretch. Jackson works the high side of the speedway. Brian Hacker working down low as they come off the corner. They'll put lap number 7 into the books. Tough break for Brandon Gundrum and Brandon Hull. Some issues on the 99, didn't even make the green flag. A little bit deeper back here, battle from your early race leader, the 17 of Burnt. He does battle with the 77 of Winters with a Bang Energy entry on the outside of the speedway. Jeff Steenbergen up 5 spots, trying to make it some more as he works behind that battle. As Reed Rundell will get underneath Konjerski down the front stretch. Bid for your race lead in the turn number 1. Brian Hacker off the bottom. Tyler Jackson down low. On the backstretch, they will come at you. It is Tyler Jackson jumping out to your race lead as they race into turn number 1. Brian Hacker going to try to cut it down low once again off of turn number 2, but that will give your race lead to Tyler Jackson. Jackson picking up the season opener down at the Lanier Motorsportsplex just 2 weeks ago. Trying to become the first repeat winner of the season. Brian Hacker runs second. Reed Rundell is third. 4th spot belongs to the 15 of David Konjerski. Mike Winters rounds out your top 5. 1 spot outside of the top 5 is the 17 of Dean Burnt. And then it is the 62 of Jeff Steenbergen. Steenbergen working the bottom of the speedway, trying to make some ground. But he's got company with the 112 of Chris Johnson. Johnson works the top shelf, ripping the lip up there along with a 40 of Riedner. Riedner working the outside now as Steenbergen. That's the battle for your 8th spot down the backstretch. 10th spot belongs to the 75, the Napa-sponsored 75 of Fletcher. He rounds out your top 10. 57 of Cher runs 11th spot. 12th spot belongs to the 302 of Levin. Gary Pizon and Roman Plink round out your cars out onto the speedway. Good battle back here. We're watching the 77 of Mike Winters and the 17 of Hurt. They are battling for your 6th position. Car off the racetrack, that was the 112 of Chris Johnson. Track starting to widen out. The track crew did go out and water this racetrack before the start of the main event. This track will change drastically throughout the entire event. Down the front stretch they go. Chris Johnson on the outside of the 40 of Bud Riedner. Riedner picked up the win 1 week ago at the Cedar Lake Speedway, trying to make his way forward. Rundell, third, your current points, high points man. He is chasing both the 11 of Brian Hacker and Tyler Jackson up at the front of the speedway. Then we've got them 3 wide with Steenbergen on the inside of Burnt. Off of turn number 4 they go. This is the battle for your 6th spot. Burnt got on the outside of the speedway with a nice momentum on the inside of Steenbergen. He's going to go after 5th. Pitches it down in the turn number 3 up the racetrack. He'll go. That allows the 40 of Riedner to close in. Some contact with the 62 of Steenbergen. We go on board with the Ski Graphics number 60 on the 62 of Jeff Steenbergen. We look out the back now at Riedner. We see him filling out there. Oh, contact with the 17 of Burton. That's going to get the 40. The 40 of Riedner up on his lid. Sticks to Landon. Yellow flag is coming out here. We saw the 40 of Riedner go up on his lid. Chris Johnson also involved here. Let's take a look back and see what happened to the 40 of Bud Riedner. See Steenbergen working the inside of Winters into the corner, and Burton just gets a good run. Maybe a little bit of net code there. That allows the 62 to get sideways, and a 40 just nowhere to go. Chris Johnson gets into the door panel, up and over, and everybody's able to pull back away. Here, let's take another look here. Let's go on board with the 112 of Chris Johnson. You see it there, and he's just nowhere to go. Everything happens so quick, and hard contact there. Maybe some front end damage to the 112. As they were able to pull back away. So we are slowed for the second time here tonight as the field catches up. Brian Gundrum in the 112 able to get back out onto the racetrack after a lengthy stop to fix the number 118. So the tough break for that driver. Showed some speed in his heat race. Currently rides in your 15th spot here tonight. Tyler Jackson up on the front of this one, working the high side of the speedway. Is your current leader. Space car is down and away, and we are back. Well, not quite yet. Practicing his takeoff there. Jam-packed crowd here to Lakeland, Florida for the Ultimate Sim League. Here on Stern Motorsports Night, lights have gone out around the racetrack. Tyler Jackson, your current race leader. Brian Hacker runs in your number 2 spot. Both those drivers hard chargers. Tyler Jackson up 7 spots. Brian Hacker up 5. From the start of this race here, 16 laps are completed. 24 remain. This 40-lap affair. Tyler Jackson works the high side of the speedway through turns 3 and 4, coming to the green flag. He'll jump on the loud pedal first, and here we are back underway. Tyler Jackson with a great launch. 23 laps to go. Brian Hacker runs second. It's single file restart here as they go into turn number 1. Chris Johnson works up the speedway. Brian Gundrum has come to got a little action back here, and Riedner working the outside of the speedway. He got sent to the tail after being involved in an accident. Came down pit road to take a look at what happened. Make sure there was not any damage to that number 4. Up front, Tyler Jackson shows the way in the turn number 1 and 2. Everybody working the bottom of the speedway as they chase the number 8 of Tyler Jackson. Big good action back here, though. The 112 of Chris Johnson as Steenbergen works underneath Winters. That's the battle for 5th. Winters working the outside. He'll rip the lip off of turn number 2 and down the backstretch. Steenbergen working the bottom of the speedway. Has not come off the bottom all night long. Strips up a little bit. Kind of diamonds these corners. Gets the car pointed back in the right direction. He looks to chase down the 15 of Kinjerski. A little bit deeper in the field, the number 75 of Fletcher. He runs in your 9th spot. As a battle for 10th rages on. 57 of Cher has it. The 302 of Levin would like it. As they battle side by side down the backstretch. That is the battle for your number 10 spot. Levin going to try to slide up in front. Can't make the moves. That allows Cher to work the outside of the speedway. as they battle on. Here comes the number 40 of Bud Riedner, as Chris Johnson's got some company now, as the 75 of Fletcher has reeled that battle in. Battle for your 7th spot is Johnson on the outside, Fletcher down low, and they'll try to put Burnt into the sandwich in the middle. Burnt says, no, thank you, I don't want any part of that, as he'll hold on to that 7th spot. Chris Johnson working the outside now of the Speedway, can't make the move, gets the run now through the off of turn number 2, down the backstretch. You see the bottom with a little bit better of a drive off for Burnt. Meanwhile, things starting to tighten up at the front of the Speedway as Brian Hacker starting to reel him in. He has got the line hooked in on the back of the number 8 of Tyler Jackson. Jackson up the racetrack. Brian Hacker working the bottom as they work off turn number 2. This time, Biden will see 16 laps to remain in the Stern Motorsports 40-lap main event. Brian Hacker working the bottom of the Speedway. That time through 1 and 2, Jackson a little bit quicker as Rundell runs in your 3rd spot. Kinjerski runs 4th, and Steenbergen trying to close the gap on the 15 of Kinjerski. "15 laps to go this time by Brian Hacker is there as we go on board with the Skis graphics on your race leader. Let's look out the back with the Ultimate Race Cars on board at the backside of Brian Hacker, trying to close it in. Closes into the center of the race corner. Things starting to heat up here on the front of this one. Brian Hacker is there, about a car length off of your race leader. Kinjerski starting to hear the rumbles from the 62 of Steenbergen. Steenbergen right there as well runs in your 5th spot. Rundell runs in your 3rd spot as they look to chase down your race leader. Chris Johnson has gotten around the 17 of Burnt as we go back up front. Brian Hacker trying to figure out a way to get by the number 8 of Jackson. Right around the bottom, both of those race leaders working the bottom of the Speedway. Steenbergen starting to put some pressure on the number 15 of Kinjerski. That's the battle for 4th. Steenbergen can't quite put the move on him just quite yet with 12 laps to go. Off the corner, it'll be 11 laps to go as your race battle for your race lead starting to shape up even more. Hacker took a peek down low that time in the turn number 3, couldn't quite do anything with him. Brian Hacker trying to put the Pathfinder chassis narrative coffee entry. He's got to look down low now, down the backstretch. Jackson working the high side of the Speedway. Thought maybe try something there to put some gap on himself between himself and Brian Hacker. Couldn't quite do it. Barney gets him the double high five. 10 laps to go in the Stern Motorsports 40-lap feature event here at the Lakeland, Florida Speedway. Brian Hacker might have something for Tyler Jackson, but does he have enough time to get there? Will the chrome horn come out? These two battle it on as Steenbergen now lurks underneath the 15 of Kinjerski. That's the battle for 4th. Kinjerski with the momentum on the outside. He'll come back. They'll be even at the line. Race lead side by side. Brian Hacker down low. Jackson to the high side. Down the backstretch they will go. Jackson holds him off. He'll slam the door shut down to the bottom of the Speedway on Brian Hacker through turns 3 and 4. Brian Hacker had the inside line. Now it'll be Jackson to the bottom of the speedway. Hacker runs the middle of the corner. He'll lose a little bit of ground. Gets the momentum built back up off the corner, looking to make a run down the back stretch. Jackson works the bottom of the speedway. Brian Hacker just about a half a car lower, scraping the paint on the inside wall. 7 laps to go. Jackson pitches it in there up the racetrack. He will go. Brian Hacker down low. Off a turn number 2 they come. Jackson with the momentum. Let's see if he goes to the outside or the inside. He'll cut it back down low. Brian Hacker will keep it down low. It hasn't come off the bottom all race long. 6 laps to go for the driver of the number 8, Tyler Jackson. As we go on board, looking back. You're on board with your race leader, Tyler Jackson. Brian Hacker in his tire tracks. They work off turn 4. It'll be 5 laps to go. The high five sign from Barney the Flagman. Jackson will wash up the racetrack. Brian Hacker's down low. He pedals to that 11 as hard as he can on the bottom. Can't quite keep it even down the backstretch as the momentum on the outside puts Jackson back out front. Jackson down low, slides up a little bit through the middle of turns 3 and 4, right back to the bottom. 4 laps to go for Tyler Jackson. Reed Rundell runs in your third spot. He is about 3 seconds behind this Battlefield race lead. Tyler Jackson running the outside of the speedway, leaving the bottom open for Brian Hacker. Trouble for the 33 of Gary Pizon. He is on pit road, now comes back out. In front of your race leader, slow on the bottom of the racetrack, is the 33 of Pizon. He lets the leaders by. Tyler Jackson leads it 3 laps to go. It is now or never time. Jackson up the racetrack, hits the right rear up against the cushion. Here comes Brian Hacker with a great launch on the bottom. Can't pull up even with the number 8 of Tyler Jackson. Off the corner, rabbit ears will be pointed straight to the sky. 2 laps to go for Tyler Jackson. Jackson will all go high. Here comes Brian Hacker down to the bottom of the speedway. Jackson jumps the cushion a little bit, gets the momentum. Brian Hacker down low. Good battle here for your race lead. Jackson's going to open about a car length advantage into turn number 3. Brian Hacker drives it in a little bit deeper, maybe a little bit of contact there, almost. White flag will fly. The final trip around the speedway. Tyler Jackson looking to go to the victory lane for the second time in the 2021 season. Brian Hacker trying to grace victory lane for the first time. He'll hug it down low. Off of turn number 2 they come down the backstretch. Brian Hacker with one last ditch effort. Will he go to the high side? He keeps it down low to the bottom of Tyler Jackson. Stays off of him. Off of turn number 4. Checkered flag is up. Tyler Jackson's going to win the Stern Motorsports 40. Brian Hacker will finish second. Reed Rundell will come home in your third spot. Here's the battle for fourth. Is Steenbergen will hold on to that. Kinjerski will finish 5th. Reedner rallies back to finish 8th here, but your top 3 drivers aren't officially a pending tech here in a little while. Tyler Jackson picking up the win. Brian Hacker will finish 2nd. 3rd will go to Reed Rundell. Steenberger and Kinjerski rounding out your top 5. Your feature event winner parks it down here on the front stretch, and as they will pull into victory lane, we will get ready for our Stern Motorsports post-race show. It'll be right up after a quick word from our sponsors.
iRacing is a sim racing game that combines a true-to-life racing experience with an online community of virtual racers from all around the globe. iRacing offers a multitude of officially licensed cars and tracks, laser scanned with millimeter accuracy. Their car models and mechanical systems are based on real-world physics, engineered in cooperation with manufacturers and race teams. Their skill license system ranges from rookie to pro, ensuring members are always pitted against those with similar skill sets. Members are able to sign up for a weekly race series, compete in time trials, host a private race with friends, and participate in racing leagues created and run by the community. With over 170,000 members, iRacing works in partnership with renowned motorsports organizations like NASCAR to deliver virtual races based on the real-life NASCAR Cup Series, as well as many other series on the NASCAR ladder. iRacing also features team racing, providing a variety of options for members to create and manage their own teams. Race with friends or real-world teammates in full-length endurance events like the 24 Hours of Daytona, Spa 24, or the Bathurst 12 Hour. Additional partners include IMSA, World of Outlaws, Supercars, and IndyCar, allowing members to race in their very own Indianapolis 500, Bathurst 1000, Chili Bowl, and many more iconic events. This is iRacing, delivering the most authentic racing experience short of getting into a real race car. Sign up today at iRacing.com.
Welcome back here to the USA Speedway, where we have caught up with tonight's feature event winner down here in Victory Lane. It is the driver of the number 8, Tyler Jackson. And Tyler, you had your work cut out there here tonight with a very fast USA International Speedway.
Yeah, I was feeling good and early in the race, and then, man, Brian really filled up that rearview mirror. I almost wish I didn't have one.
Yeah, he definitely did some pressure. You are up 7 spots. You started in the 8th spot here tonight. How tricky was the track from start to finish? We saw it was very tacky up front. Then it seemed to widen out for you guys as the race went on.
Yeah, I was actually lucky somebody didn't grid in the 6th spot, so I got to move up a whole row, so I really started 6th. Yeah, when it was tacky there in the beginning there, we were 3 wide, and I was just trying to work my way down to the bottom. I knew that's where I needed to be, so couple tense moments there. There was a spin out in front of us, and tried to keep it clean and keep a 0x on here for some bonus points in the standings.
You come into the standings 2nd place and points. This will definitely help out your 21 championship hopes. What does it mean to come in here and be the first repeat winner of the 2021 season?
Oh yeah, it feels good. This track is a lot different than most of the stuff we race on, so it's really different, and you use a lot of brake. I think I said last week, it's kind of, you drive it almost like an asphalt track, and Brian's pretty good at the asphalt stuff, and he was a lot better than me, and I got to thank him for not using me up there. I was holding him up. I didn't know what to do. I could have stayed on the bottom in 1 and 2, but I felt like if I went up and got a good run off the backstretch, he'd never be able to beat me down into the bottom on 3.
Yeah, the last few laps there, we did see you using the outside of the speedway, and he was down low a couple times, pulled up even in the center of the racetrack. Did you think going to the high side might have been the kiss of death for you?
I really wasn't sure what to do. I thought maybe if I just kept running the bottom, make Brian go up there and try it, but I just wanted to, I didn't want him to give me a tap, and we both end up with a bad finish, so I figured I'd get out of his way at least half the speedway, and he pulled even with me, and I heard a car inside, and I was just hoping that runoff would let me get into the spot I needed heading into turn 3.
Well, you come home here tonight with the feature win, and next week we head to Fairbury for round 4 of the Ultimate Sim League. How's your outlook going to Fairbury?
Oh, it's one of my favorite tracks on the sim. I go there in real life a lot. I'm only a couple hours from there, so I go watch a lot. Actually sponsoring the event next week with Jack's EDM and NC Resources. We really got our work cut out for us starting in the back now that we won tonight, but if we can get out of there with a top 5, I'd be pretty happy.
Well, before we let you go here and head back up to Fairbury. Who makes it all possible? Who got you here to Victory Lane?
I got to thank my girlfriend as always. I put in a lot of time down here turning laps, and she puts up with me being a big kid, so that's always good. Again, Jack's EDM, that's my dad's wire EDM business, NC Resources, and my uncle's CNC repair. And I got to thank Milner Media and Design for giving me this cool looking wrap. Hopefully the shark will keep on digging.
Well, congratulations once again. That is tonight's feature event winner. That is Tyler Jackson, and he'll be our first repeat winner of 2021. We'll move down here onto the front stretch, and we have come up with our second place winner, or finish. I guess you won second place. It is none other than Brian Hacker. And Brian, we finally get to talk to you here in this 2021 season. It's been the first couple weeks. You gradually getting better. One spot shy here tonight.
Yeah, we haven't had the luck so far this year. This has been the first solid run we've had all year. But you said second place winner. I'll take it as a win. Tyler's been pretty dominant so far this year, and I think we might have had something for him there at the end. We just couldn't quite get the runs strung together right to get to the inside of them. So he ran the race he needed to race to stay up front, but it was a lot of fun.
Yeah, you come home in the second spot, started 7th there, so you moved up quite a bit here tonight, mainly on the bottom of the speedway. Was that your plan all race long, just to kind of stick to the bottom, knowing the track was going to widen out?
Yeah, I know some people like to go up high here. I've never been a big fan of going up high at USA. It's tough to run that cushion. It's tough to hit it right consistently. So I heard some people, pre-race chattering about using the cushion and going up high, and I had a little smile on my face knowing that hopefully that would open up the bottom a little bit. And we were able to get up front pretty quickly. I opened the door once for Tyler. He was able to get underneath me while the track was still pretty tacky. I definitely like it more when it slicks off. I feel like the car comes around and my suits my driving style a little bit better. So if I wouldn't have done that, we might have had a chance tonight. But once you give him one opportunity to take advantage of it, he's definitely going to do that. That's just the type of driver he is. So pretty cool for us Illinois guys. I know there's a lot of Wisconsin guys and elsewhere in here, but pretty cool for us Illinois guys to have the showing we did tonight.
Yeah, and talking about the start of the race there, you almost got caught up in our first yellow flag there with the 118 of Brian Gundrum. Saw you check up there. That was quite the close call for you. Yeah,
definitely. It was a pucker moment for sure. Could have cut diamonds, but it was pretty close. Luckily, they were able to kind of get to the inside of the track, and we were able to slow it up just enough to get to the outside. But it was a little hairy. I was glad that we were able to hold on to it and not damage anything.
Well, you come in as the 2020 Asphalt Champion. They changed the surface on you, and you come home with your first podium of the year. Who made that all possible for you?
Yeah, taking a look on the car, Carbon Junction. I know some of the guys are watching. The guys at Smith Racing Inc., I know all of them are watching in some way, shape, or form right now. Narrative Coffee, Pathfinder Chassis for supporting this, Ultimate Race Cars for supporting this, Bud, Jeff for putting this thing on. It's a lot of fun, and thanks to you for coming on board this season. It's been cool to go back and watch these races.
Well, there you have it. That's your second place finisher here tonight at the USA International Speedway. That's Brian Hacker, as he'll come home in your number 2 spot. Finishing third spot here tonight, that is the number 43. That is Reed Rundell. And Reed, you come in as the points leader into tonight's racing action, and you're going to come home with another podium finish. It's got to feel pretty good to finish here on the podium here tonight.
Yeah, it does. I didn't have anything for those guys. They kind of snuck away, and then I know I started to put a little bit of space between myself and I think Jeff was running fourth, and at that point it just was cruise mode. I couldn't find the grip to get back up close to them, and you hope that maybe they get into it and get a little bumping or whatever and give me a chance to get back up there, but both those guys are too good. It just wasn't going to happen. So we'll just try and stay consistent and smooth and keep rolling.
Talking about the race here tonight, you had a great car. You started on the outside of the front row. What did you need a little bit more out of the car here tonight to maybe go up there and compete with Tyler Jackson and Brian Hacker?
I'm not sure as far as that goes. I guess I was the only one that kind of went backwards. Those guys went forwards, but that early caution, I kind of scooted up to miss them and kind of got out of the groove a little bit as far as that goes. But I don't know. It's just searching for grip, and sometimes these cars you can find it, sometimes you can't, and I guess that was my luck tonight. I just couldn't find it.
Well, next week we head to the Fairbury Speedway, a little bull ring of a racetrack. And what is the outlook for you up there at the Fairbury?
Well, I actually prefer the shorter the track, the better I think I can run as far as that goes. Haven't run too many laps at Fairbury, so hearing Tyler say that he's been there a bunch and stuff like that. I know Brian's always good, and a bunch of the other guys just equally as good too. So we'll go in there and put forth the best effort and try and come out with another consistent finish, and that's all I can ask for.
You finish a couple spots behind your championship rival. Overall, a good start to the 2021 season. What's it going to take to close the deal here this season?
Well, like I said, I think staying consistent, podium finishes are always going to be a big deal as far as that goes, and trying to just keep that going. If we can keep the momentum and keep clean, keep out of trouble, obviously with the bonus points for running clean, that can help a bunch too.
All right, well, before we let you go here from the USA International Raceway, we got to give you the red carpet to thank all those that make it all possible for you.
Yeah, like a lot of the other guys, I thank my wife for letting me race a couple nights a week. Sometimes wish I could get a few more nights of practice in, but that isn't going to happen. Obviously, Buddy's Racing Equipment and Central Services, PF Flyer Race Cars, Premier Fabricating, all those guys have been with us for a couple seasons now with all the dirt stuff, and thank them. And thank you guys for putting on the broadcast.
There you have it. That is your third place finisher here tonight from the Stern Motorsports night. Let's take a look at how the rest of the field finished up here tonight. As it strolls across the top there, we'll take a look here from your feature, not heat race number 2. What is the truck doing down there? As the 43 of Rundell pulls away, the pull down in the tack. It is Tyler Jackson picking up the win. Brian Hacker will finish second. Reed Rundell, Jeff Steenbergen, and David Konjerski rounding out your top 5. Mike Winters will settle for a 6th spot here tonight. Chris Johnson up to the 7th spot. And then Bud Reedner rebounds after getting put on his lid in turn number 3 to finish 8th. Dean Burnt will finish 9th, and Kurt Levin will round out your top 10. 11th finishing spot went to the number 75 of James Fletcher. Chuck Scher in car number 57 will finish 12th. Roman Plank, Gary Pizon, Brian Kundrum, and Brandon Hull will be credited with the 16th spot after not being able to start the main event. Let's take a look at the current point standings, unofficial standings after tonight. And we have to factor in our bonus points here. I believe Tyler Jackson will end up taking over your race lead, but without the bonus points factored in, Reed Rundell has a 1-point lead over Tyler Jackson. Brian Hacker will move up 2 spots up to your number 3 spot. Brian Gundrum will fall 1. Jeff Steenbergen up 3, the inside the top 5. Next week, we head to the beautiful Fairbury Speedway with a lot of short track action coming at you. And it is going to be the Fairbury 40-lap main event sponsored by Tyler Jackson. So we thank them. We look forward to seeing that happen next Monday night right here, same place, same time. For everybody here at the Turn 3 Racing Network, I am the boss man, Al Smith. We hope you've enjoyed tonight's broadcast. We will see you next week from the Fairbury Speedway.